Hill, everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday, only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the January 20th, 2018 Vinyl Treasure Show. Almost did not make it here. It was really a hectic week. With all the accounting close and all the tax laws and the changes. And I was working every night till around 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning left Newark, came home and worked on the PC, worked this morning, and I almost wasn't sure if I was going to do the show tonight, but I finished at about my work around 11 a.m. this morning, so everything went okay, although I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Everybody seems to be sick. Barbara's sick. There's a bunch of people at work that are sick. I don't know, maybe it's these temperatures or anyway, but let's hope we can have a nice, relaxing evening listening to original vinyl 45s like we just opened up tonight's Vinyl Treasure Show with a tenor saxophonist from Miami, Florida. Willis Jackson's his name. He was a member of Duke Ellington's band in 1949, recorded on various labels through the years, Apollo, Atlantic, Deluxe, and others. We just heard one on the Atco label from March 1957, written by Jesse Stone, a song called Back Door. And unfortunate that Jackson, he died on the operating table during open heart surgery, October 1987. He was only 55, but he had some great instrumentals like that one there from March 1957, Back Door. Well, we're going in the front door tonight to play some original vinyl 45s, so let's kick off the vocal portion here with this group out of Los Angeles, California. They first recorded as the Marbles on the Lucky label, then they signed with the R&B label for 3 singles. Their biggest hit, you may know, the original version of Hearts of Stone. Then the label sold their contract to Lou Chudd, owner of Imperial. They put out 4 singles, and this is their third. It features Johnny Torrance on lead. Let's go to January 1956. He wrote the tune. These are the Jewels. Johnny Torrance on lead, the Jewels on Imperial with Rickety Rock.
Well, I just love to hear my baby call my name. To hear my baby, I just love to hear my baby calling. My baby call my name. Every time she calls so doggone plain. So plain, so plain, so plain. I love to see my baby doing the bop, bop, bop. See my baby doing the bop, bop, bop. See my baby doing the bop, bop, bop. To see my baby doing the bop, bop, bop. Every time she bop, she make her hips go rickety rock, boom, rickety rock, boom, rickety rock, boom, rickety rock, boom, rickety, 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 rickety rock.
That's how I feel a little bit tonight, Rickety Rock, but we're going to make it through tonight. Those are the Jewels. The Jewels from January 1956. It's on the Imperial record banner. Johnny Torrance on lead for that one. Their tune called Rickety Rock. Now, another member of that group was Rudy Jackson on the Imperial releases, and he sang lead on some of those Imperial releases. John G here for a Saturday evening spinning 1950s and early 60s original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Got a lot of flip sides from last week, as I had to kind of condense the show really quick as I didn't have a lot of time to prepare. But on last week's Vinyl Treasure Show, I featured a classic on the Atlantic label by the Diamonds out of Harlem, New York, not out of Canada. And the song was entitled "A Beggar for Your Kisses." Now, the flip side's a great jump. It features Harold Sonny Wright on lead. We're going to send this one out to Laura Wooten, who's celebrating a birthday today. I know she likes this tune. This one from December 1952. We go way back to 52 for the Diamonds on Atlantic, and a B-side. It's called "Call, Baby, Call."
Call, baby, call. Call, baby, call. I say call. Please, baby, call, call, call. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call, baby, call. Ooh, baby, I'm all alone. Wait by telephone. Away from you will do the thing. Come on, baby, now make it rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Call, baby, call. Yes, I know I did you wrong, but please don't make me wait so long. I'll do anything you say, just don't throw my love away. Baby, please don't turn me down. I wanna hear that jingling sound. You used to call, but now it's strange the way someone has made the change. I tried to get you lots of times, but someone else is on your line. Won't you listen to my plea? Baby, you killing me. Why did you go away? Go away, go away, go. Why did you go away? Go away, go away, go. Now please come back and don't do that no more. Yes, yes, baby, don't cheat me. Call me now. I wanna be good. Show me now. Wanna say how I love you so well. I ain't had a good long ago. So please call, baby, call. Oh yes, now I've been homeless after all, and all I've done is make the floor where my poor heart is busting out. Well, I feel so bad, I wanna shout, oh please call, baby, call. Why did you go away, go away, go away, go? Why did you go away, go away, go away, go? Now please come back and don't do that no more. So I say call, baby, call, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, call, baby, call.
Yeah, that's a cool jump there from December. Whoops. There it goes. From December 1952, the first of 3 for the Diamonds. The Diamonds on the Atlantic record label. "Call, Baby, Call" is the name of that tune. It features Harold Sonny Wright on lead for that one. As we continue here, we move into 1954 now. And this group, they are also from New York City. They were signed to Sid Nathan's King label. They were known as the Checkers. Now, 2 of the members of the Checkers were previous members of the Dominoes that recorded on Sid Nathan's Federal label. Charles White, he was the second tenor for the Dominoes. He left in 1951, and the bass, his name was Bill Brown. He left in early 1952, and together they formed this group known as the Checkers. And here's their 7th release on the King record label, and it features Little David Bawn on lead. This one from April 1954. These are the Checkers on King with their tune called "House with No Windows."
I'm going to move in a house with no window. Yes, I want to be there, 'cause I know you don't care for me no more. I'm gonna stay in a house with no windows. So when you pass by, you won't see me crying over you. Until I can find you ain't on my mind no more.
Yeah, don't want to be in a house with no windows. That is definitely not the case here. John G up in the attic with 3 windows. I do really want more. But anyway, those are the Checkers, April 1954 on Sid Nathan's King record label. Nice bluesy tune there. Little David Bawn on lead for that one. House with No Windows. And that's their 7th release on the King. They had more, although later on, nobody knows who those Checkers were. They just used the name on their later releases. Anyway, John G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here on the 50s and early 60s edition. And let's stay again in New York City. And last week I played the A side of this 45, was the first of 2 by a group known as the Four Bells. The side I played was called Please Tell It to Me, but I also liked the B side. Came out on the Gem label. It's with the Blues Express Orchestra. These are the Four Bells, June 1953 release on Gem, a tune called Long Way to Go.
You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in. Well, the hens in the barn laid by the clock. The rooster looked up and said, baby, don't stop. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in. Well, the buzzard and the eagle, they took a flight. The buzzard turned around and said, nothing inside. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go. You got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in. Well, I told my baby I was gonna wait. She didn't even budge, but I heard him say, you got a long
last night at my neighbor's door. I heard somebody say, let's try it once more. You got a long ways to go. Well, you got a long ways to go. Well, you got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in. You got a long ways, you got a long ways to go. Well, you got a long ways, you got a long ways to go. Well, you got a long ways to go and a short time to make it in.
Yeah, that's a cool rockin' tune there by the Four Bells. Whoops. Having trouble with that turntable there. The Four Bells, June 1953 release on the Gem label. Lots of rare 45s on the Gem label, like the Earls. Anyway, though, it's a long way to go. John G's got a long way to go before the Cincinnati Bengals win the Super Bowl. That is for sure. As we continue here for a Saturday evening, up next is the debut single for this group out of New Haven, Connecticut. They would have 4 releases on Bobby and Danny Robinson's Red Robin label, another great label for you collectors out there to collect. Now, the song is written by the lead singer, and you all know him. I'm pretty sure you do. His name is Fred Paris. Now, for you collectors out there, the majority of the 45s, or this press of 45, plays with lots of background noise for some instance. So this for this one, for some reason, so it's maybe the batch of vinyl that they used recycled or whatever, but some play okay, and this one I think plays okay, or better than others. I think it's pretty good, although there is some surface noise. You'll hear it, but let's give it a spin. It's the first record by the Scarlets, aka the Five Satins. It's from June 1954, Red Robin Records. The tune is called Dear One.
Dear one, I love you so. Dear one, why did you go? Tell me that you love me too. Dear one, never go away. I need you every night, every day. Tell me that you love me too. Oh, why did you go away? I need you night and day. I love you, I need you, I do. Oh, why did you make it end? You know we were more than friends. Please come back to me. Oh, 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 dear one, now is the time. Dear one, please say you'll be mine. Tell me that you love me too. Now is the time. Dear one, please say you'll be mine. Tell me that you love me too.
June 1954 there. I have to say that plays really great. That one there does for sure, and I'm happy about that. Those are the Scarlets. Fred Paris on lead there. Their debut single for the Scarlets, aka the Five Satins, Dear One. It's on the Red Robin record label, and of course later on Fred Paris, he would form the Five Satins. They would have that hit In the Still of the Night plus others, and continued to sing Fred Paris well into the 1960s, maybe into the early 70s. If I got some records by him in the 70s, I think on RCA, if I'm not mistaken, as Johnny G draws a blank. I'm telling you, I've been going to bed around 3 a.m. every night. The latest was like 3:30, and I couldn't fall asleep. I was coughing, and I'm afraid I have these cough drops, and I'm going to choke while I'm sleeping, because you shouldn't be sleeping with cough drops in your mouth. Then getting into work around 9 o'clock, and then doing all these Excel worksheets. My eyes, I was transposing all day. Hopefully I won't be transposing these 45s as we continue here. And here's another flip side from last week's as we go to the Great Lakes label. And out of Detroit, Michigan, I featured the A side of this 45, a tune called Life of Ease, as done by a group called the Imperials. Now we're going to give a listen to the B side, which to me sounds exactly like the Life of Ease, except they changed the lyrics. That's what I say, but you can be the judge. It features Milton Harris on lead. He co-wrote the tune together with band leader Sax Carey. This is from January 1954. These are the Imperials on Great Lakes with their tune called It Won't Be Very Long.
Hey, 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 she said, it's true. I love no one but you. And it won't, no, it won't be long when your baby comes walking home. Well, I'll miss, I'm gonna miss your loving kiss. And it won't, no, it won't be long when your baby comes walking home. Well, I started to take a train, and rushed right up to you. Oh, yeah. But then I stopped and thought, well, the plane would be faster too. Well then, I'll say, until that loving day, I'll hope, say, and I'll pray it won't be very long. Hey, hey, bum, 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 baby. But then I stopped and thought, well, a plane would be faster too. Well then, I'll say, until that loving day, I'll hope, say, and I'll pray it won't be very long. It won't be very long.
Yeah, there you go. Those are the Imperials there with the bongos in the background. A listener, Danny, wants me to do an all bongos show, and I'm thinking about it. I'm really making note of records that have bongos in it, both 50s and 1960s, but there were bongos in that one by the Imperials. That's a B-side, January 1954. It's on the Great Lakes label. The A-side was called Life of Ease. The B-side's called It Won't Be Very Long. Featured Milton Harris on lead for that one. Sax Carey involved involved with that record, as he was with a lot of records up in the Detroit and Chicago area. I think, or Detroit only. I don't know. Johnny G loses his mind here for a Saturday evening. But let's continue here. Let's flip over another 45 I played last week on the Real label, REAL. Lots of kind of not so hot records on the Real label, but there are a few that are very good, and it's a label out of Pasadena, California. Well, the lead singer, though, was discovered at the Hesperia Inn, which is somewhere on the Mojave Desert, I think is what North Dakota Bob told me. So I don't know. I've never been to Hesperia, California, but I probably would love to go. But anyway, it's mentioned on the label. Now, the singer, his name is Jules Savoy, and actually my copy is autographed by Jules, so I don't know who we gave it to. It wasn't me. But anyway, I played the jump side of this 45. It was called Tutti Frutti Man, and the B-side, though, is a ballad. It's a nice ballad with a vocal group, and you hear them singing in the background. They're known as the Chromatics. This one from 1955, it's Jules Savoy and the Chromatics. It's on the Real label. The tune is called Would You?
Would you only at a glance, would you really take a chance? Let me show you that love can really be had. Really be had. Would you kiss me once or twice? Would you just take my advice? Let me show you that love isn't so bad. It takes so little for people to love. It's yours if you're willing. It's sent from heaven above. Oh, would you let me take your hand? Would you wear my wedding band? Tell me, darling, that your love can really be had.
As Johnny G is getting caught here. I got an EP on the turntable. Give me 2 seconds here, because I got to get it lined up. I don't want to cut off the end of Earth Angel. Where's Rich Sabello when he said he got to, how he back? I want to know how he would front cue an EP. If you're listening, Rich, tell me how you cue an EP. I don't want to get the end, because the first record on this EP is Earth Angel. Anyway, let's see. What do we play? We played the Jules Savoy and the Chromatics. That was the first of 4 on the Real label from 1955. Those are the Chromatics that recorded for the that Crest label and other labels, but they're backing him up on that one. It's on the Real label. It's called Would You? So would you please excuse Johnny G for this evening, as up next, I have actually a twin spin on Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label out of Los Angeles, California. Now, the first one is off of an EP. Actually, it was the first EP put out by Dootsy Williams and the Dutone label, of course, by the group's biggest artist at the time, and they were the Penguins, of course, with Earth Angel, probably one of the biggest sellers of a biggest selling record, or one of the first biggest selling records. But the EP is called Rhythm and Blues Vocal Group Series. It's album 1. Now, on this side, it has Earth Angel as the first track, and And then the other side lists Love Will Make Your Mind Go Wild and Baby Let's Make Some Love. So they were on singles. You can get those on singles, but you can't get this tune, this second record on side 1, on a 45. But it also came out on a Dutone LP in April of 1957. And we're going to give it a spin. It features Dexter Tisby on lead. These are the Penguins off of an EP released in May 1955 with a cover. It's got a nice cover, the red cover. It's the Penguins, and the tune is called I Ain't Gonna Cry No More. Darn.
What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Listen, sugar, honey, listen to me. I need your loving now. Can you see? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, baby, let's make some love.
That's the wrong one. See?
Hold me and kiss me, sweet and tight. I want your love.
It's still a good song.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, baby, let's make some love. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I want you. I want you. I want you so. I need you. I need you. I need you so. I love you. I love you. I love you so. Yes, I do. But sugar, honey, listen to me. Now you're so fine, so mellow and sweet. You're got peaches, I've got cream. Let's do it. 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 Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, baby, let's make some love. Make some love. I love you, baby. I'll tell you why. When you thrill me, I'll oh my. Let's do it. 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 Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, baby, let's make some love. Make some love. Baby, let's make some love. Come on, baby. Baby, let's make some love. Let's make a little love. Baby, let's make some love. Oh, come on, baby. Love me tonight.
You see, Johnny G messed up there. I told you I was dyslexic today, transposing words and typing. Well, I'm now transposing 45s. That's what I'm doing. But anyway, I didn't want to take this record off because I like that record by the Penguins. So you got an added treat. Instead of a twin spin on Dutone, we're going to get a triple play on Dutone. So that's a good record. I like that tune. A song entitled Baby Let's Make Some Love. That's by the Penguins there. We're going to send that one out to listener Linda Gator. She's tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show. Hope she likes that tune. So let's get back to the right track here. And let me put this EP on, and let me see if I can line it up right. We don't want to cut off Earth Angel there. I hear a little bit of Earth Angel, but anyway. So anyway, let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit here. We're going to go to May of 1955, back to Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label, to the EP to the Penguins on Dutone. This was not on a 45. The one I played before, Baby Let's Make Some Love, was, but this one was not. These are the Penguins with I Ain't Gonna Cry No More, Take 2. Those are the Penguins. The Penguins on Dootsy Williams' Duto EP label there for that one. May 1955 release date there. I Ain't Gonna Cry No More. And hopefully we'll not have many mistakes. But Dexter Tisby, he's on lead for that one now for you collectors. The true first of this EP comes with a red cover and has to be the 100 series. So if you own this EP, check your number. If it's a 200 series, then you have the reissue, and hopefully you did not pay a lot of money. Although I don't think this this EP goes for about 100 or 150, somewhere in that range. But anyway, it's a pretty good, nice item to have as a Johnny G babbles on here for a Saturday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. I said I had a double play. Twin spin on Dootsy Williams. It's going to be a triple play as we go to this L.A. group, initially recorded as the Dundies on the Space label, but they added a new lead singer, and his name was Herman Pruitt, and they became the Calvains. They signed to Dootsy Williams, and this was the first of two on his Dutone label, a tune written by the baritone for the group, Stuart Crunk. He wrote the tune, but it features Herman Pruitt on lead. We go to September 1955 for the Calvains on Dutone, and their tune called Don't Take Your Love From Me.
Call me names, call me alive. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Take the moon from the night. Say I'm wrong when I'm right. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Darling, I love you. I swear I love you as long as you live. I'm gonna take all your love from you till there's some I can give. Call me names, call me light. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Yeah, you know, darling, I love you. I swear I love you as long as I live. I'm gonna take your love from you till there's some I can give. Call me names, call me light. Take the stars from the sky. Do anything to me that you will, but don't take your love from me. Don't take your love from me.
Great sounds of California here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Calvains, the Calvains, September 1955, the first of two. Herman Pruitt on lead for that one. Don't Take Your Love From Me. That is a great, great tune. Understand the Calvains, they performed that over at UGHA. I never went to. I was a member. I had a UGHA card. I never ever went to any of the meetings in New Jersey. I didn't want to have anything to do with New Jersey at the time. Now, look, I've been working in New Jersey for, the last 20 years now or so, or 15 years maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I wish I saw some clips on YouTube, and they sounded great. They did, but I think, I don't know if Herman Pruitt is still alive. I don't know. I thought I might have read that he passed away. I'm not sure. I don't want to start any rumors. But anyway, that is a great tune there by the Calvains, Don't Take Your Love From Me. John G here for a Saturday evening program. Note that I will be filling in for Ramtown Mike this coming Wednesday from 8 to 11, right, Mike? I think that's it. Is it 8 or 9? No, 9. No, Mike, what time is it that I'll be on? You got to type it in the chat room. I've been filling in for Ramtown Mike this Wednesday, and he's going to type in what time it is. But anyway, I'll be playing 1960s, mid-60s to early 70s. I think everything, though, is in the 60s from 64 on, but I'll be filling in this Wednesday. If it was this week, there was no way. I was working late on Wednesday, but it's 8 to 11. There it is, 8 to 11. Thanks, Mike. I'll be filling in for Ramtown Mike this Wednesday and all 60s show. So if you like the 60s, you got to tune in. And actually, next Saturday is the last Saturday of the month, I think. So that'll be all 60s. So anyway, you're going to have to tune in 2 weeks. Those of you that just like the 50s and early 60s, or you might like all the music like I do. Anyway, enough of my babbling here. Let's continue here. Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee. And this is the debut. Actually, this is not the debut single, but this group's debut single was in November of 54. Came out on the Republic label. Then 1 year later, they released this one on the Calvert label, the song written by Bill Hall, and he is the lead singer of this group. They're known as the Clips, and features Jimmy Beck, the Jimmy Beck Orchestra, and he was the house band for the Calvert and the Champion labels. This one from December of 1956, the Clips on Calvert, and the tune is called Let Me Get Close to You, Baby.
I've been trying, and you've been lying. Time I stop trying, baby, time you stop lying. Let me get close to you, baby. Let me get close to you, baby. Let me get close to you, baby. That's all I wanna do. You always said later, not now but later. Can't hold on much longer, feeling growing stronger. Wanna get close to you, baby. Let me get close to you, baby. Let me get close to you, baby. That's all I wanna do. You got my head spinning, my body shaking, my eyes wide. I feel good deep inside. You tell me you love me, and then you tease me. But how nice it'll be if you please me. Wanna get close to you, baby, that's all I wanna do. tell me you love me, and then you tease me. But how nice it'll be if you please me. Wanna get close to you, baby, that's all I wanna do. That's all I want to do. Yeah, that's all I want to
Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. There you go. Those are the, as I lose my place, those are the clips from December 1956. It's on the Calvert record label, a tune called Let Me Get Close to You, Baby. Bill Hall on lead, would later join a group called the Sonics on the Harvard label, also recorded for the Checker label, I think in 1959 or so, as Johnny G loses his mind. Gotta say hello to the gang, the tax department. I can't say the company, can't say that, but they are tuned in to Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. So I have to say hello to Sally, and she wants me to play something for the tired and lonely tax people listening in the in the company's tax library. And I was oh yes, so there you go. She heard everything. That's right, Sally. That's why the numbers don't tie. No, they did. But anyway, we're gonna send this one out to Sally and all of those still working in the tax library, this record, because they're probably thinking with whatever the title is of this next record here. And as I lost my place, this one's from December of 1956. It's another flip side from last week. I featured a group called the True Tones on Henry Stone's chart label out of Miami, Florida. Well, it was the intended A-side. It was called Magic. That's what we try to do when we create the numbers in the business world. We create magic. But the B-side is great too, and it's a cover song originally recorded by the Dreamers in 1955 on the Grand label. And this one's on Henry Stone's chart label. It's from December of 56. It's by the True Tones on chart, and we're going to send it out to all those working in the company tax library, because I know this is happening to them. The name of the tune is called Tears in My Eyes.
Love is in my heart, tears in my eyes. I love you, dear, soon we'll have to part. Darling, darling, I have tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes. I love you,
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That there for the True Tones, December 1956 on the chart record label. We send that out to Sally over in Newark, New Jersey. Send it out to Sally. Maybe she left by now, but anyway, she'll know about it, I'm sure. She's going to let me know about it. But that's a cool tune. Originally done by the Dreamers on Grand in 1955. That's the True Tones version. And it's a shame that Henry Stone and the lead singer, who I think is Howard Patton, give themselves writer credits on that tune because it was the Dreamers that originally wrote that tune. John G here for a Saturday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. We do it every Saturday from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue here. We are in the year 1956, and here is the debut single for this group out of Detroit, Michigan. They had a few songs to make the national charts, the national Billboard charts, like in 1962. They had a release on Robert West's Lupine label. I'm sure some of you know their tune. It was called I Found a Love. But earlier than that, in 1959, they had their biggest hit, a song called You're So Fine. Originally came out on the Flick label, also was picked up nationally on the Unart label. And now you know I'm talking about a group called the Falcons. Now here is their debut single, which came out on the Mercury label, and the song was co-written by the lead singer, and his name is Eddie Floyd. And if that sounds familiar, you're thinking of Eddie Floyd, who recorded Knock on Wood. You are correct. That is him. He is the lead singer. This was his first record as lead of the Falcons. Knock on Wood, a big hit for him. But he was 21 years old when he recorded this, along with the Willie Dixon Band. Let's go to August of 1956. These are the Falcons with Eddie Floyd on lead on Mercury. The tune is called Baby, That's It.
Well, you got the arm to squeeze me tight. You got the lip to kiss me right. Kiss and kiss, squeeze and squeeze. Ooh, baby, that's it. Well, look at me, just as sweet as you can be. It makes me realize that you were meant for me. Kiss and kiss, squeeze and squeeze. Ooh, baby, that's it. Well, that little giggle in your tongue, the way you wiggle, baby, when you walk, you got me so mad for you. Now, come on, what? You say you do well if you would be mine alone. Well, if you would put me on your throne, yes, you and I make love alone. Ooh, baby, that's it.
August 1956, release there for the Falcons. That's their debut single on the Mercury record banner, Baby, That's It. It features a very young Eddie Floyd on lead. Eddie was with the group through 1961, from the inception, late 55 through 1961. Those are the Falcons. John G here for a Saturday evening, spinning original vinyl 45s. Let's continue here. And last week I featured Crip Johnson on the Dot label with his a tune called I'm Spinning. Actually, really, it was the Del Vikings, but they couldn't put the Del Vikings on that release. Litigation was going on at the time, so Dot issued the single as Crip Johnson, lead singer of Whispering Bells. They put the name of the record that the Del Vikings had the hit with. But the B-side of this 45, when Dot put this out, the group name read the Del Vikings and Crip Johnson. So I guess they were able to do that because at that time they were under contract and everything was fine. But anyway, this B-side originally came out as the B-side to Phoebe 210, a song called What Made Maggie Run. It came out in April of 1957. Then it came out to a B-side on the Dot label of I'm Spinning. And this version for you collectors out there is actually a longer version than the original on Phoebe. This is 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So let's give it a spin here. August 57, the Del Vikings with Crip Johnson on lead. It's on Dot Records, and I guess we can send this one out to the tax department also. It's a tune called When I Come Home.
Won't you tell me, please? Let me know, put my mind at ease.
When I come home, will you be waiting? When I come home, must my poor heart be aching? Will you be there? When I come home,
Let me know the story. Put me in my glory.
when I come home, may God be with me. I hope and pray that you'll hug and kiss me. Will you be there when I come home? May the angels sing in heaven. May Gabriel blow his horn when I'm with you. Oh, my darling, nothing really when I come home, may God be with me. I hope and pray that you'll hug and kiss me. Will you be there when I come home?
Tell me, please. Won't you tell me, please? Let me know. Put my mind at ease.
When I come home.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Del Vikings. Del Vikings, Crip Johnson on lead from August 1957. Featured it on the Dot label. The tune is called When I Come Home. Actually, so this record, this song available actually 3 times, though. First came out as a Phoebe 210, the flip of What Made Maggie Run. Then it came out as the flip of I'm Spinning on Dot. And then the Mercury Group, they would re-record the song, release it a month after the Dot release in September with Norman Wright on lead. So there you go, You can get that record 3 different ways, 2 with the time difference and 1 with a different lead. Jai G here giving you babbling on for a Saturday evening as we continue here. And last week I featured a group called the Foster Brothers out of Evansville, Illinois. I played the B-side of their debut single, came out on the LB label out of Chicago, Illinois. The tune was called I Said She Wouldn't Do. But let's give a listen to the A-side. This one from 1957. These are the Foster Brothers on LB, and their song is called Tell Me Who.
Tell me who's that little darling with a dimple on her chin. Tell me who's that little darling. What's her name and where's she been? Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. She's got that cutest smile. She's got that curly hair. Now she's got everything, boy, I do declare. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who's that little darling. Man, she's sure looking fine. Tell me who's that little darling. Yes, I'd like to make her mine. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. She's got that certain way that makes you stop and stare. Now she's got everything, boy, I do declare. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who. Tell me who. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks good to me. Tell me who can she be? 'Cause she sure looks.
Yeah, that's a cool jiver there for the Foster Brothers. 1957 release on the LB record label. Please Tell Me Who. Tell Me Who is the name of that one, and they would go on to have 5 more releases on different labels. Ray Pettis, though, previously a lead singer of the Gems, he would later join the group, and I think he sang lead on maybe 4 or 5 of the other sides by the group. John G here counting down the music. We play the records chronologically here on Saturday nights, my 1950s and early 60s show. When I do my this Wednesday, I'll be doing a special show at 8 o'clock. It'll be all 60s, but random 60s throughout the 64 through 69. You'll hear records from that era, and I mix them up there, but I do not do that on the 50s show. Let's continue here. Now, last week, on another flip side here, we opened up the vocal portion of the show with a B-side on George Gollner's Gone label, and the tune was called Such Lovin'. Just couldn't resist to play the flip side as it was a hit. And you know I rarely play hits here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, but it's such a classic song. It was number 23 both on Cashbox and Billboard, the biggest hit for this group. And you may have seen this group perform the song on Dick Clark's American Bandstand. With Richard Blandon on lead, and it's a 45 that my aunt purchased in the summer of 1957, and I'll send it out to my Aunt Mary because I know she loves this tune. Let's go to August of 1957. You know I'm talking about the Dubs. These are the Dubs on the Gone label. It's their biggest hit and a classic, have to say, classic. The tune is called Could This Be Magic? Classics here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Dubs. Those are the Dubs with Richard Blandon on lead. That's their biggest hit. Came out in August of 1957. George Goldner's Gone Records there. Could This Be Magic is the name of the song, and I wonder if they did Such Lovin', because usually when the groups showed up on American Bandstand, they would do both sides of their records. At least back in the 50s they did. I know not always they didn't, but they did. But anyway, both sides of that record are great in my opinion. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. As we continue, we move into 1958. This is a pretty expensive 45 for you collectors out there looking for this one here, and I like both sides of this record. We're going to listen to the up-tempo side, but it's out of what did I say it right? Did I write it right? Yes, out of Kinston, North Carolina, and the label's known as Beverly Records, and the song was written by the group's manager. His name is Lehman H. Drumgee, and it features a 16-year-old by the name of Irving B. Perry. He's doing lead. This group is known as the Cool Toppers as we go back to May of 1958. The Cool Toppers on the Beverly label with their tune called 'Cause I Love You So.
Oh, why do I feel that everything you do? When I know that you've been untrue, and when we kiss and we say goodnight, why do I still wanna pull you tight? Why do I pull the phone when you say bye-bye? Keep saying that I love you all the day I die. Guess I'm foolish of me, but that's the way it's gotta be, 'cause I love you so. The love love's a dangerous creature, and when he bites you, it's you. When you take your loved one in your arms and you will never, never, never wanna let her go. Why don't I come back and say we're through and forgive you for all the foolish things you do? I guess it's true. I'll never marry you 'cause I love you so. Never wanna let her go. Why do I come back and say with you and forgive you for all the foolish things you do? I guess it's true. I will never marry you 'cause I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so.
Rare 45s here for a Saturday evening. They're called the Cool Toppers, with a cool name, with a K. The Cool Toppers, May 1959, released theirs Beverly Records out of North Carolina. 'Cause I Love You So is the name of that tune as we continue here for a Saturday evening. And this next artist, he hails from San Diego, California. When I bought this 45, I thought it would have a full group. Unfortunately, it does not, but I like the song, and I think it could use a group. And the singer goes by the name of Bingo Miller. He also wrote the song, and he's also playing piano on this tune here. So let's give it a spin. It's on the Young Artists label. It's from 1958. His name is Bingo Miller. I don't only know a dog named Bingo, but his name is Bingo Miller and the Velvetones. And the name of the tune is called I Know a Valley.
I know a valley so sweet and fair. Oh, won't you come and meet me there? I know a valley so sweet and fair. Won't you come and meet me there? Oh, think it over, please come on with me. Yes. To belong with you, darling, darling. My love for you is true. Oh, so think it over, please come on with me. Yes. I know a valley so sweet and fair. Won't you come and meet me there? Oh, think it over, please come on with me. Yes. Oh, with me.
Sounds of 1958 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is Bingo Miller. Bingo Miller and the Velvetones' 1958 release. I Know a Valley is the name of the tune. It's on the Young Artists label. The flip side's like a cool rocker. We'll get that one on a future Vinyl Treasure Show as we continue here. And this next group, they're out of Dallas, Texas. They formed in 1955. Their first release came out on the Chess label. They were known as the Five Notes. They do a great two-sided 45. I like the tune called Park Your Love. They followed that up with a 45 on the Blues Boy Kingdom label back in 1957. They changed their name to the Five Stars, although for you collectors out there, first presses of that Blues Boy Kingdom 45, the singer was known as Millard Lee. Now that brings us to the 45 that I have on the turntable number 1 now. It's on Tom Flieger's Jan label. It was also Jane. I think it was first Jane, or then he had to change it to Jan, or vice versa, as I forget. But the label's out of Dallas, Texas, and by this time, which is April of 58, they changed their name again to the Five Masks, and the lead singer for all those groups, his name was Al TNT Braggs, and this is a song he wrote. It's from April 58, the Five Masks on Jan, and it's called Polly Molly.
does loops. Molly, Molly, I took her to a show. Molly, Molly, the girl that lives next door. Molly, Molly, when we kiss, my heart does loops. Now when we go out dancing like other couples do, all the fellas talk about how fine she is and a smile because I know it's true. Molly, Molly, she's the girl for me. Molly, Molly, she's all this world to me. Molly, Molly, when we kiss, my heart does loops. Now, Anna, holla, hey, 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 hey. Now when we go out dancing like other couples do, all the fellas talk about how fine she is and a smile because I know it's true. Molly, Molly, she's the girl for me. Molly, Molly, she's all this world to me. Molly, Molly, when we kiss, my heart does loops. Molly, Molly, now you know. Molly, Molly, now you know. Molly, Molly, now you know. Molly, 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 now you know. Molly, Molly, now you know.
April 58 release there. They're called The Five Masks. The Five Masks, Al TNT Braggs. He's on lead there. Polly Molly's the name of the tune. Came out on this one, the Jan label. Now, it's a song that he wrote. He also discovered artist Bobby Bland and got Bobby to sign with Don Roby's Peacock label, where Al also had releases on his own and other labels too, but he does some cool, soulful releases on the Peacock record label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's go back to Dootsy Williams' Duto label. Actually, this is the Dutu label for this great group out of Sacramento, California, as we go back to the sounds of California. They're called the Cufflinks, and their history is very, very confusing to say the least, as there were really three different versions of this group. And the first group goes back, the original group goes back to 1956 when Robert Truesdale, he was the lead singer. You may be familiar with the song Guided Missiles or It's Too Late Now. Those were the original Cufflinks. Then there was a second group that came out on the Challenge label with John Jennings. He was on lead, and they did songs like So Tough, or one of the versions of So Tough, and another cool record, up-tempo, called Eyeballin'. And then there's this third group that recorded as other groups like the Raindrops and the Webbs and the Style Kings, and again as the Cufflinks, but they spelled their name a little different. Instead of a Links, they spelled it Linx. And it features the lead singer of Henry Houston. It's the third of four for this third version of Cufflinks. It's on the Dutone label, and here's their third. It's from May of 1958. It's Henry Houston and the Cufflinks, and the name of the tune is called Lawful Wedding.
Do you take me to be your love? Yeah, that I'll always be. our love is heading. Hand in hand. A lawful wedding. Yeah, together we stand. They say true love should never die. I don't know, but my darling, together we will try. He has pronounced us. Man and wife. Our hope will never, never part. Yeah, for the rest of our life.
May 1958 release there for Henry Houston and the Cufflinks with an X. Linx Cufflinks there. Lawful Wedding is the name of the tune. It's on the Duto record label. I love their second release, I think it was. Their second release called My Love Is, or maybe it's the first release, because they do the song So Tough also, which I do like better than that other Cufflinks version. But My Love Is With You is a great record, I think. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's stay in California, this time on Brad Atwood's Corvette label out of Hollywood, California, for this single artist and group. I really don't know who the group is, but the singer, his name is Johnny Ross. He gets writer credit, and he also is the artist. I messed that one up. And mentions A&R man is Chuck Tequila Rio. And I'm featuring the intended A-side. It's a pretty expensive 45. Not easy to find this one here on the Corvette label. We go to September of 58 for Johnny Ross and group. And the song is called That's What You Mean to Me.
That's what you mean to me, to me.
It's on the Corvette label out of California. It's a rare 45, not easy to find that record. Johnny Ross and a Group, September 1958 release. That's What You Mean to Me is the name of the tune. That's what you mean to Johnny G when you tune in here on the Vinyl Treasure Show from 10 to midnight, listening to some cool 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here. And we have a jazz singer up next, but is more of a pop R&B style with this 45. And there is a vocal group in the background. Now, the record is produced by the manager of the Platters, and his name is Buck Ram. And eventually, this 45 would end up on Buck Ram's Antler label. He was the owner of the Antler label, but initially it came out on a label called Universal International that collectors are familiar with because the Lollipops 45, Believe in Me, originally came out on Universal International, which then became Holland Records. You know, these label owners, a lot of shenanigans back in the 1950s, as it was commonplace for them to do that. But I'm featuring this on the Universal International label. This gal's name is Ann Weldon. Ann Weldon. She has other releases, earlier releases in her career, I think on RCA and other labels, but I like this one by her. It's from June 58, Ann Weldon on Universal International. The song is called You're Hurting Me.
You're hurting me. I don't know if you know it, but you're hurting me. You say you need my love, but you don't show it. You're hurting me. Understand it, you're hurting me. You know it's not the way that we had planned it, you're hurting me. I'm left all alone, night after night, crying 'cause I can see the look in your eyes and the longing in your hearts for someone else, not me. You've been carried away by other charms, and I'm waking up to reality. You're pleasing yourself and someone else, but oh, how you're hurting me. You're hurting me. I don't know if you know it. You're hurting me. You're hurting me. You say you need my love, but you don't show it. You're hurting me. You've been carried away by other charms, and I'm waking up to reality. You're pleasing yourself and someone else. Oh, how you're hurting me.
Ann Weldon and a Group there from June 1958, featured on the first label Universal International. Ann Weldon and Group with You're Hurting Me. Hopefully Johnny G not hurting you if you're looking for some of these 45s, you collectors out there, because they can be expensive and have gone up in price. Some have gone down. You know, it's like the stock market that's doing really well now, by the way. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, last record in 1958, another flip side from last week for this group called the Four Horsemen, came out on the United Artists record label. I featured the intended B-side, the up-tempo side. It was called A Long, Long Time. So let's give a listen to the A-side before it goes back down in the no humidity basement. It's a ballad from July of 58, The Four Horsemen. It's on UA Records. The tune is called My Heartbeat. Yeah, those are the Four Horsemen. The Four Horsemen with My Heartbeat. Great two-sided 45, I think. That's on the UA record label, United Artists Records, July 1958. As we move into 1959 now for this next group, they are out of Jacksonville, Florida. I really like this song, this tune. Really never get tired of it. The first time I heard it was when I used to tune into the Ronnie I show. He played this record. It wasn't a theme song, but when he first played it, I think he was playing records that were currently being booted and were available in his record store, Clifton Music, because every week they were booting 45s in the 70s, and they were cheap. They were, I think, $1.45s back then. They might have gone up to a couple dollars, or either somewhere between $2 to $5, unless you got those red vinyls. But of course, he wanted to bring people to the store, so he's going to advertise very much how Times Square did with Slim. He would advertise records he had in the store. So I heard this. Of course, the first time I got it, I wasn't making any money. I paid $1.50 for the bootleg. It was a great record. And then eventually got the original, of course, multiple copies of the original. But it's the first of two for this Jacksonville, Florida group. They recorded on Ernie Young's Excello label, and Excello had this one as the B-side, but I think it's the better side, in my opinion. It features John Stanberry on lead. I think Ramtown Mike likes this song, who I'll be filling in for this coming Wednesday from 8 to 11, so tune in to Top Shelf Oldies for 1960 sounds. I think Ramtown Mike likes this, so we'll send it out to him from September 1959. These are the King Crooners. King Crooners with a CR. It's on Excello, and the tune is called Won't You Let Me Know.
Love me so, yeah.
We send that one out to Ramtown Mike, our Wednesday night DJ. From 9 to 11, the other side of Ramtown. I'll be filling in for Mike this coming Wednesday, the 24th, January 24th. He likes that tune, so do I. The King Crooners, September 1959, released. They're out of Jacksonville, Florida. The first of two on the Excello label, a tune called Won't You Let Me Know. Yes, Johnny G lets you know that I'm on Top Shelf Oldies from 10 to midnight every Saturday right here, and spinning original vinyl 45s, no MP3s, no CDs, sometimes LPs and EPs, but mostly 45s as we continue. And we got two more to go in 1959, and just got this one in, although I thought I had this next 45, wasn't really sure, but I saw a cleaner copy online. I figured I better snatch it up, but maybe this is better than my original. I don't know, but this artist, his real name is Joseph Coleman Smith, and he was originally from Maywood, Illinois, but he relocated out to the West Coast. You know his signature song from 1956 first came out on the Vita label. Then it was picked up by Dot Records. It was called Confidential. I think made it up to number 17 on the Billboard charts. But he had a number of releases on many different labels: Aladdin, Specialty, Aura, Original Sound, and this label, the Janlar label. Let's go back to July of 59. I'm talking about Sunny Night on Janlar, and we'll send this one out to all the Debbies that are tuned in. The name of the tune is called Dear Debbie.
Dear Debbie, there's nothing new. Not even the letter I wanted from you. Thanks, Debbie, for the picture you sent, and the words that were on it, words that I hope you meant. So far apart, my aching heart waits to hear from you. Someday, some way, somehow, just waits to be near to you. Please, Debbie, won't you drop me a line? Write that you love me and say you'll be mine. Yes, and write that you love me and say you'll be mine.
Sound of California here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Sunny Night. Sunny Night, his big hit was Confidential. That one there is called Dear Debbie, July 59 release on the Janlar label. There's a few releases on that Janlar label, West Coast groups on that label. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening as we continue here. 10 more minutes to go on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Got another B-side from last week as we go to Bob Shad's Time label. I featured a group called the Chariots, their tune called Gloria, which received some airplay here in the New York City area in early 1959. I like the B-side too, and for you collectors out there, it has to be on the blue label. The red label is the second press. Let's go to January 1959. These are the Chariots on Time with their tune called A Sunday Morning Love.
Sunday morning, oh how I miss you. Sunday morning, how I wish for you. It was love from the start, our love, a Sunday morning love. Sunday morning, there I met you on the doorstep. It was love from the start, our love, a Sunday morning love. Now that you're gone, dear, I'm so blue. Dearest, please tell me, just what can I do? Won't you please tell me, sweetheart, that you will come home? And also tell me that you will never more to roam. You came walking to the chapel one Sunday morning. There I met you on the doorstep. It was love from the start, our love, a Sunday morning love.
That's a B-side there. Great two-sided 45 on that one. They're called the Chariots, January 1959. The flip side of Gloria, song entitled A Sunday Morning Love. That one there on the Time label as we wind down here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This next group, they're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They're called the Notations. They have this lone release on Ted Mullen's Wonder label, co-written by the label owner. He goes by with Rusty York, label owner, and Rusty York wrote this tune. You might know Rusty York and familiar with a song he does called Sugary, which came out on the Val label originally, was picked up by Chess Records. But let's give this one a spin as we move into 1961. It's a deluxe custom press. Or King Custom Press. I don't know why I called it deluxe, but it's a rare white group record. Actually, I think it's up-tempo, so we're going to have to ask our Thursday night disc jockey, Alex Galbraith, if he has this 45. He's on Thursday evenings rotating on Thursday evenings with other disc jockeys, a platter party. Alex, he's in chat now. We wonder if he has this record. Alex, you have this one from 61. It's by the Notations on Wonder. It's called What a Night for Love.
See the stars, look so high.
Sounds of 61 here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. They're called The Notations. Came out on the Wonder label out of Cincinnati, Ohio. A tune called What a Night for Love. As we move on here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, I have another flip side from last week's show. I featured this one on Morty Craft's Bambi label. Featured a group called the Mood Makers, a.k.a. they were also known as the Five Delights, who do that record, There'll Be No Goodbye. But I played the up-tempo A-side called Dolores. Time to feature the B-side, which I like also. It features Ed Jordan on lead. And notice the funny thing on the label, before I put the record on it, it's small print. You see orchestra direction of Rocky Gibraltar. Was Morty Kraft trying to be funny or what? But maybe he was, but that's so weird. Anyway, it's May 1961. These are the Mood Makers on Bambi. The tune is called Dream a Dream. That's a great two-sided 45. The Mood Makers, the name of the group. May 1961, Dream a Dream is the name of that one. It's on Morty Kraft's Bambi label, one-off label from Morty Kraft, as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. And on last week's Vinyl Treasure Show, I sent out a song to listener George Tompkins, a great tune called Lucky Joe. Came out on the Aries label out of Los Angeles, California. That was the intended B-side of the 45. Let's give a listen to the A-side, as done by the singer Al McGee. This one from 1961, Al McGee on Aries. This is the intended A-side. It's called You Can Count on Me.
Just like I promised on the telephone, I'll be there.
1961 release there on the Aries label by Al McGee. You Can Count on Me is the name of the tune. Featured the original on the Maroon Aries label from 1961. The second release came out in 62 on like an aqua blue color label, which mentions the arranger as Charles Wright. Gets mentioned only on the second release, not on the first press. And the spelling of the name is different. The Maroon label spells it Al, Macgee. But on the aqua blue label, it's spelled Al, Magee. So who knows what's going on with that record? Anyway, John G here for a couple more 45s here. And here's another flip side from last week's Vinyl Treasure Show. The group out of Philly, Pennsylvania, first recorded as the Ecuadors on the RCA label. And I featured a cover of a chords classic called Shaboom by this group. The flip is another cover, first recorded by the Jacks, and it features Al Turner on lead. We go to Al Brown's Rose label, and we move to 63 for the Cardinals. This group is called the Cardinals. It's on Rose, and their rendition of the Jacks tune, Why Don't You Write Me?
Why don't you write me, darling? Send me a letter. Tell me you love me, dear. Make me feel better. I love you. Yes, it's you I adore. You I adore. When I first met you, darling, I realized that for you, dear, I did have eyes. Please, darling, won't you send me a line? Send me a line. I miss you so each day, although you've gone away. I guess I'll miss you more and more. And as the days go by, I sometimes wish that I could see your face once more. Counting my blessings, read for stars. Why don't you write me, dear? Say how you are. I love you. Yes, it's you I adore. You
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for a group called the Cardinals. The Cardinals there on Al Brown's Rose label. Features Al Turner on lead from 1963, their rendition of the tune Why Don't You Write Me? Why don't you write Johnny G? Send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. Tell me that you're digging here on the tunes on the show for some requests, if I can find them. Sometimes I can find the requests. They're sometimes fairly easy. Other times they're a little hard. If I've played the record within the last couple years, then it's going to be a nightmare. As we continue with a few more here. And this next singer, he's out of California. He was discovered by Sonny Bono, and Sonny co-wrote the song together with Al Hazan for this singer by the name of Willie Gibson. And I noticed when I saw this record, I said, it's got to be good because I see Mother Bertha Music, and it's on the Warner Brothers label, which I thought was unusual. And then I looked and I said, oh, it's a Lester Sill production, so very similar to a lot of those Phyllis records, those Phil Spector records on the Phyllis label. So I figured this has to be decent, so let's give this a spin. It was a missing Warner Brothers number. It's from July of 62. It's Willie Gibson. I think their gal's backing them up on this one. It's on Warner Brothers. The tune is called Cheatin' on Me.
cheating on me. Cheating on me. Oh. Tell me that you need me. Let me hear you lie. Yeah, yes, and go ahead. Or tell me how I thrill you. Or tell me that I choose you. Or then you watch me cry. 'Cause you've been cheating on me. Cheating on me. How could you think that I would be so blind? 'Cause you've been cheating on me. Cheating on me. I hope you'll have in yourself a real good time. Yeah, yes, and go on. Or tell me all about it. Or let me hear you shout it. Or walk out the door. Whoa, and go ahead. Or tell me that you love me. Or tell me that you need me. It can't hurt no more. 'Cause you've been cheating on me. Cheating on me. I hope you'll have in yourself a real good time. Yes, 'cause you've been cheating on me. Cheating on me. I hope you'll have in yourself a real good time.
July 1962 release there for Willie Gibson and some girls in the background there. It's on the Warner Brothers record label, Willie Gibson, a song entitled Cheatin' on Me. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email. It's vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can send me emails about the show, requests, whatever. Like to get emails from the listeners. Yes, I do. Been recording this one on the Ustream broadcaster. Going to post it up on my YouTube account. I had a problem last week. Got a lot of emails that I only had 8 minutes of the show posted, which was a total mess up. I was playing around with the controls, and it totally messed up the recording of the Ustream. So it only, when I did something at 8 minutes in, it's messed it up. So I didn't touch it this time, and it's a different view. So check out the video of it and tell me if you like the view, not of me, of the records. But but that's gonna do it, folks, for the Vinyl Treasure Show. Program note: I will be on this coming Wednesday. I'll be doing a 1960s show. So Charlene has been helping me with a lot of the research. I had a lot of leftovers from that fill-in I did for Dave the Ray for about an hour and a half. So I have some records left over from there, and I got some new ones that came in the mail. So I'm going to feature those on Wednesday when I fill in from Ramtown Mike from 8 to 11. Then I'll be back the following Saturday from the normal time, 10 to 12, for another 60s show. So it's the last Saturday of the month. So you're going to get a double dose of 60s from Johnny G and that extra show in the middle. And thank you, Ramtown Mike, for letting me fill in for you. But that's going to do it, folks. Our closer tonight is What was our closer? Yeah, there it is. It's appropriate too. As last week I played a 45 on Juanita Henson's Ebony label out of Mishawaka, Indiana. If you've ever visited that place, I never have. But it was a cover song, first done by the Turbans, their cover of When You Dance, as done by this artist by the name of Glenn Madison and an unknown group who I think are the Delcos that recorded Three Little Words, because they also recorded it on this Ebony label. Now, the flip side is also a cover song first done by the Dells back in 1956 on the VJ label. This release is from April 64, although it does not sound like a 64 record by any means, but it's Glenn Madison and group on the Ebony label with the closer. It's called Why Do You Have to Go? Well, that's because John G's a little bit under the weather and I need to catch up on some sleep. Well, that's going to do it, folks. Please tune in tomorrow evening for my buddy Dave the Raven, his Relics and Rarities show, beginning at 9 p.m., 9 to midnight, right here on Top Shelf Oldies, and all the shows during the week here on Top Shelf Oldies. Tune in from 8 to 11. Great music all the time here on TSO. That's going to do it, folks. Charlene, thank you so much for all your help again in the short time period, as this was really a busy week for your host, Johnny G, but I'll be back. Hopefully it'll be a nice calm week at work Wednesday, and it was fun having those my workers. They were working late. I did all my work, then they needed the information for their work, but want to say a thank you to all the people at work. I can't mention the company, but it is a utility company, major utility company in New Jersey. You can figure it out. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. And everybody have a safe and happy week, although I'll see you here Wednesday night starting at 8 o'clock for Cool 45s, filling in for Ramtown Mike from the 60s. That's going to do it, folks. Just want to say, everybody, so long.